What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Cozy here, coming at you with another deck tech video for the One Piece trading card game. This is going to be my 09 and 010 list for Purple Monkey D. Luffy from OP05. This leader is absolutely insane when it comes to the ramp potential and the fact that you can just play big, tall bodies and go wide with your board. This deck is insanely strong to play in this meta that I feel, especially in my locals meta here in Las Vegas. This deck has seen quite a bit of success, and I want to share this list with you guys for both 09 now, and it is future proof with OP10 because there's no changes to this deck list. So try it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but also like, subscribe to the channel for more deck techs, and let's go ahead and take a look at this list. Roll that intro. Alright guys, how is it going? We are going to start with the 2Ks of this list, and I feel these 2Ks are very well balanced for what we're kind of wanting to play here, and then we'll move on to the bodies, and then we will move into the events that we have for the deck. Starting off first, we do run a single copy of Friend Nosuke in this list. You could get away with other quantities and ratios in this list. I feel we had the extra spot for it, so I can just go ahead and put it in as a 2K. It's very useful as a 2K, but it also has that ability of Dawn times 1. We can give this character rush if we have 8 or more Dawn in play, which by the time we have Luffy and we're using the ability of the leader, it's going to be pretty quick that we get to 8 Dawn. So we get an additional rusher with this, but mostly I just use it as a 2K for my personal player preference. After that, we are running 3 copies of the Hitokiri Kamazo. And look at that, how beautiful that winter card is in this deck. It is absolutely stunning. And if you want to know how we got this winter card, go ahead and go back, take a look at that Shanks video that we have on the channel. It is going to be listed as public right now. That is an OP09 list. The OP10 list is coming out rather soon for it. But I find the same thing with Kamazo. You can play 1 down and get away with playing 1. And it has the once per turn effect when a Dawn card is removed from the field and return to our Dawn deck. We KO one of our opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, especially in a meta where Blackbeard exists and they're dropping Vasco shots. Hitokiri is going to get rid of that Vasco rather quickly, and then we don't have to deal with it at that point because we're already using the Dawn minus effects from our other cards, in addition to some of the other characters that we have in here to get that Dawn back. Hitokiri is just really strong in a 2-cost blocker meta that we're starting to see with the things like a Nico Robin blocker or the Vasco shot and a couple of the other 2-cost blockers that are just really cheap to play out early. And even the Don Quixote Rosinante, I believe, is a 2-cost. If it's not, I may be wrong. I just don't remember off the top of my head. We do run 4 copies of the 2K Sanji blocker from OP06 or 7, is it? No, it's OP07. I'm thinking OP06 was something different. No, this is OP07. This Sanji is a 2K if we have at least 2 or fewer Dawn than our opponent. Yeah, 2 or fewer Dawn than our opponent. He's going to get a -3 cost in the hand. So this becomes a 3-cost 6K blocker if we run out of things to kind of play or we extend the play too far and our Dawn gets cut down a lot. For the most part, we are going to play it as a 6-cost blocker in this deck because we are going to ramp so fast in this deck that it's just going to be very, very hard for anybody to really compete with other than other ramp decks like Charlotte Pudding, Black Purple Luffy. Kaido also comes to mind in terms of ramp just because they have Onigashima. But for the most part, Sanji's a really great 2K. It's a really great blocker as well to play in the late game. Speaking of blockers in the late game, we have the perfect counter to that with 4 copies of Uso Hachi. He is going to be a card that we would most likely play to end the game because his on play allows us to rest a 5 cost blocker or less. Essentially to get rid of like the Sabos and things like that. We'll just play him down, use the rest of the Dawn to swing tall with our bodies and everything like that. Uso Hachi, early game, is also a very good 2K to have. I usually try to hold on to these for that late game, maybe one or two of them, just that way I can get around some of those peskier blockers that we do experience in this particular matchup. So that's going to do it for our 2K lineup. We are currently running 4, 8, 11, 12 2Ks in the list. I think 12 2Ks is very standard for the North American meta. I don't see this list being too bad. And I mean, I've had some success with it playing and doing some play testing, trying to find that best list for you guys. But nonetheless, we're going to move on to our bodies. Starting with our 1 costs, we do run 4 copies of the Trafalgar Law Searcher. He's going to allow us to look at the top 4 cards, look for a Straw Hat Crew or Heart Pirates Crew with a cost of 2 or more, I believe. So it does not search Gum Gum Giant, unfortunately, but it's going to find the other combo pieces in this deck that we work with, which is basically going to be anything, but I believe, let's see, 3, 5, 6, 7... 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards, including Giant. So in the reality, this should always hit at least 1 card that we need. However, we do run 12 copies of the combo pieces that we're going to be looking at here in just a minute. So that may be a whiff on that part, but at least we will get something off of the Law Searcher most of the time, just because most of this deck is searchable, minus of course like some of the 2Ks as well. So it might be like 17, 18, somewhere around there in terms of non-searchable targets. I do run 1 copy of the Nico Robin blocker, which is just a nice little 2-cost blocker to play out. Just if we don't have anything else to play, it's very, very strong in this current meta with cheap blockers. Black usually just deals with these right away, but that requires additional resources that saves us from a potential hot tall swing, everything like that. So I think the 1 Nami is, or the 1 Robin is okay. We run 2 copies of the Onami blocker. On play, if you have 8 or more Dawn, you can trash 1 card and draw 2. For me personally, I think in the playtest, I liked running 3 Onami to no Robins. So if you wanted to go this route and go 3 Onamis in this slot, you're more than welcome to. It's just more of a player personal preference for me, just so that way I have something at least to play when I'm in a tight spot. But you're more than welcome to make that adjustment. I have made that adjustment in the past before, and I'm just giving this particular section a try. Next up, we run 3 copies of the 4-drop Bon Curé. He is just a really, really good ramp card. Gives us 1 additional Dawn as active, so we can go into going first, our 3 Dawn turn, use the leader effect to take a life. We'll ramp 1 Dawn to 4. Play the Bon Clay out to get an additional Dawn swing 6 with our leader, and then that sets us up for the 8 and 10 Dawn turns that we do want to start planning ahead for, and we get there a whole turn ahead of what our opponent's projected 10 curve is going to look like. So this is what I would consider our early game for the most part, and now we're going to start getting into the main combo pieces and what really makes this deck shine. We do run 4 copies of the Roronoa Zoro Searcher that came from Starter Deck 18? Yes, Starter Deck 18. There's been so many cards going through my head right now. I just don't remember all of the sets that they come in. But no, this is Starter Deck 18 Zoro. He's going to look at the top 5, grab a Straw Hat Crew card, any card, and then we put the rest to the bottom. So he's going to be able to find some of the other combo pieces that we're looking for, such as the 5-cost Sangoro, also from Starter Deck 18. This is just a huge value card in this deck, because what we're going to do is on 8 or more Dawn that we have, we just attack with the Sangoro. No Dawn, no nothing, just swing 6. We're going to draw a card, just for it existing and us having enough Dawn to do so. Before we get to the last combo piece that we run in this deck, I do want to share 1 more 5-drop that we run, and that's going to be the 5-drop blocker Eustace Captain Kid. This is where we get that Dawn recovery back. So if we do have the Hitokiri out and we are using our character effects to Dawn minus, the Kid's going to bring that Dawn back for us as active. So this is going to really start fixing our Dawn and allowing us to do some more play extensions, swing a little bit taller with things. So the Kid is just very, very strong in this deck. And I have seen people run it without Kid. It does have success without Kid, but this is more of a player preference slot. If you do have something you want to replace the kid with, you are more than welcome to, but I would recommend the kid because it also does function as a blocker for you, especially in a tight pinch where you don't have the Onami or the Robins or even the Sanji 2K. It's going to help you out in a tight spot and help you possibly survive an additional turn and then help you secure that win. So now we move on to our later game portions of the deck. This is where we're going to start playing things earlier than our opponent can deal with, starting of course with 3 copies of the Rush Sanji from OP10. He is going to allow us to remove at least 1 Dawn, which in this deck we are only going to remove 1 Dawn from our Dawn field back into the Dawn deck, and we are going to give it Rush and rest a 6 cost or less. So this is how we can also get over those pesky blockers to get in an additional 7k attack, and it's going to allow us, if we have Hitokiri, to remove a 2 cost or less from the board. Now, for some reason, I don't know, Kaya probably did something with this additional card that I have, so I do have it as a card back, but we do run that last combo piece 4 of the Luffy Taros, who is going to Dawn -1, and we're going to be able to play a 5 cost or less Straw Hat Crew card or character from our hand. And so the line of play would be, Luffy Taro into Zoro, Luffy Taro into Sangoro, so that way, or even the Luffy Taro into the Onami to draw. So we do have a lot of things that work well with this card. This card is essentially kind of like the linchpin into a lot of the combos that this deck does run. And it is going to be something that, you do want to see either in the mulligan or in the searches that you run with the Law and the Zoro Juro, just so that way you can make sure that you have your next set of plays set up, because it is also an 8k swing once it is able to attack. So it's going to be very hard for your opponent to deal with. It does require 2 2ks or 2 2k and 2 1ks. So it does require anywhere between 2 to 4 cards in order for your opponent to even try to get out of a particular swing with the Luffy with no Dawn added. Next up, I do run 2 copies of the 9-drop Charlotte Linlin, also from OP08. I think this card is very, very good. You could run it at 3. There is one more card in here that I would probably say is more of a flex spot. But I just want to make sure, of course, I can see the Linlin. It's not searchable, so I don't want to see too many of them in a search and potentially whiff. But I think 2 or 3 is very healthy in this deck list. In addition to the 2 or 3 Linlin, you could run 2 or 3 of the Monkey D. Luffy, which was the secret from OP09. It has basically the same effect as the Sanji here. You're going to minus however many Dawn you want to minus. In our case, we're going to minus just a single Dawn. We draw a card, and this character gains Rush for the turn. So we have a huge 10k Rush coming in early. We have a 7k Rush coming in early. We have a 9k and an 8k body. So those are things to kind of just take into account. You could run this at 3. I would recommend this at 3 if you're going more aggressive. This at 3 if you want to play a little bit more defensive and a little bit slower and try to kind of whittle your opponent down that way. And then last but not least, the additional card that I was saying you could do as a flex spot for those is I run the 10-drop Luffy. Personally, for me as a player preference, I love the card. I try to squeeze it into every purple deck I can squeeze this thing into. So it's more of a player preference and more of a guilty pleasure for me to run that. But you could replace this 10-drop with another 9-drop Luffy or the 9-drop Linlin. And then lastly, the only counter cards we run in this particular deck are going to be 4 copies of Gum Gum Giant, by far the best purple card that has ever been printed in recent sets, in my opinion. You get a 4k counter. Granted, you minus 2 Dawn and draw and lose a card from hand, but you're drawing 2 additional cards, so you could, in theory, grab the Gum Gum Giant and take a brick in hand that you don't want and pitch it away and gamble out for 2 more valuable cards, maybe a 2k, 2 1ks, 2 2ks, 2k, and something that's going to help you extend your play next turn, or even go for the game next turn with one of the rushers, or even give you another life with the Lin Lin. There's a lot of possibilities that you run with the Gum Gum Giant, so that is something to just kind of be mindful of going into what you want. But overall, I think this list is a very solid list. It is future proof, so you can pick all of these cards up now and not have to really change your list for OP10. So I think this is going to be a list that I personally run in OP10, and I am more than excited to see Purple Luffy take over as a, I would probably say it's an A tier, tier 1 deck. By my standard, I would say this isn't going to be like a tier 0. It's not going to be something that is meta defining, but it does stand out in the meta, and it is something that I look forward to playing every week at locals, and I may even take it to an upcoming regional that we have. I haven't decided on what I'm playing yet in the Top Cut event that is happening May 23rd. But Luffy is definitely on my radar for it. So I will be doing some playtesting with it more personally. But I would also love to playtest this over on our Discord. So hop into that link down in the description below to join the Discord community. We're going to get some playtesting games in. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk about One Piece and other card games that we play. But this is going to do it for this particular video. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. And if you like these types of videos, let me know by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and ringing that notification bell. And I'm going to catch you guys in that next upload. Peace and love, y'all.